That's what love is. You see, there's an extremely profound metaphysics behind love. Love is not merely a human emotion. The human emotions of love, that is love, but that's like the tip of a spear. You've only felt the tip. And what I'm talking about is the entire spear. When you see the entire spear of love, what you realize that here's a technical metaphysical definition of love for you. This is so profound, it might take you 20 years to understand what I'm about to say. Ready? Love is the realization that there is no difference between anything. Love is a complete absence of all bias. That's really what love is at the ontological level. The deepest love you're ever going to feel, the deepest love that it's possible to feel, is when you become so conscious that you become conscious that the difference between absolutely everything is imaginary. And when you realize that, what you're left with is infinite love. Because if there's no difference between anything, that means everything is equally great. Now you say, oh, Leo, but doesn't that also mean that everything is equally bad? No, it doesn't. Because bad is a judgment your ego self is making. That's a bias you have. When you remove all biases, the end result of that is not neutrality. It's actually infinite love. It's infinite truth. It's infinite self-acceptance. The only reason you're rejecting parts of reality is because you're scared of the suffering, of experiencing suffering. But when you bite that bullet and you're willing to experience anything, when you stop having any biases whatsoever, what you're left with is infinite love. What this means is practically you're willing to experience everything. And the reason you're willing to experience everything is because you realize you are everything. And you stop cherry-picking experiences or dreams. See, when you're infinitely conscious, you're so conscious you're literally untouchable. You're immortal at that level of consciousness. At that level of consciousness, you no longer care about excluding any experiences from your consciousness because you realize the entire purpose of existence is to embrace yourself. When you're that conscious, you're too conscious to be able to resist your own self. And then what you realize is that the game of reality, not just the game of life, but even going beyond life, but the game of reality itself, the game of existence is a deeper and deeper, ever deeper, infinite embrace of oneself as all of existence. And so what happens is that you give up more and more of yourself to embrace more and more of yourself. You give up more of your finite self and more of your biases to be able to embrace more of your infinite self and to realize more of your infinite self. But as you give that up, you're literally giving up your humanity, you're giving up life, you're giving up pleasure, you're giving up all of your goals, all of your dreams. You're giving up all of that for what? For everything. See, you're giving up something for everything. You're giving up the finite for the infinite. With the ultimate realization that if you continue down this road, what's going to happen is that you're going to completely lose all of your attachments and even your physical form. You're going to become so infinitely conscious that you will embrace literally every possible dream that can be dreamt. You will become murder and torture and rape and genocide, and of course all the good stuff too. And you're going to become this at ever deeper and deeper and deeper and more profound levels. And as you're doing this, all that's happening is you're just surrendering to the truth of what you are. It's not that you're trying to create evil in the world. It's just you realize that evil is just a part of everything. And the way you're going to overcome the evil is not by going around it, but by going through it so completely that you will embody it to such a deep degree that you won't be able to hate it anymore. You see, that which you hate, you are resisting embodying. And so you're going through your life judging people, and then see every judgment you make of others, every condemnation, criticism you make, now you yourself are forced into this sort of dualistic game where it's like, well, if that person abuses animals, that means I can't abuse animals too, because if I do, that makes me a hypocrite. That also makes me evil. And, that person does a mass shooting, that means if I shoot people, that makes me evil. And so I can't do that. And so now you're living with all these limitations. And you say, well, but Leo, if we just let everybody do anything they want, is that going to create chaos? Yes. It might destroy civilization. See, this is why civilization, like I said in the past, civilization is a house of cards built on lies. It has to be, because it's not true. For civilization to be the way that it is, it has to not be other ways. See, civilization is a very limited, finite sort of pyramid scheme. And in so doing, it marginalized a lot of people throughout history. It abuses a lot of people. So the paradox of constructing a civilization is that as you're constructing a finite civilization, all of the trade-offs and limitations of being finite become very starkly apparent. This is why every civilization throughout all of human history has always been evil. So ironically, as you're trying to build your beautiful civilization, you're committing a lot of evil in the process. So ironically, see, evil is the most counterintuitive thing. You think that by resisting, by demonizing, by hating and judging and criticizing evil, that you're going to create a world with no evil. It's not going to happen. And actually, the more you push evil away, the more it boomerangs back on you. So, see, you're not conscious enough to realize that, whereas God is. Therefore, God realized that the only solution to the problem of evil is not to fight evil. See, if God was doing that, God would be stupid. The solution to evil is to realize that it's you. It's nothing other than you. It's something you're imagining. It's something you're doing. It's not separate from you. So rather than trying to disown it, the counterintuitive move is to own it.